Good morning, Prairie UU. Good morning, world. We are Prairie Unitarian Universalist Church. We're from Parker, Colorado, and we say welcome and join us in being a liberal religious light on the prairie. Today, we're recognizing a long-standing tradition in our congregation in a different way. It will be a nod to our annual Christmas pageant, a telling of the Christmas story. I invite everyone along the way this morning to enter your memories, your favorite parts of Christmas story now, maybe pageants in the past. Enter them into the chat if you're joining us in Google Meets, or enter them into the chat and message area of Facebook and YouTube. I pulled this from Soul Matters, and it felt like it would be a good centering thought for us this morning, pulling in stillness, which is the theme for December, as well as our focus on the Christmas story this morning. This is called Breathed into the World by Reverend Sandra Fees. Whoever you are, wherever you go, may you know the stillness of winter and call to love. May you see the moon silvering the night sky and let the dark of midnight plunge you into your truest self and fling you back out again to a world in need of who you are. May there be familiar carols you know by heart and new melodies to set you free. May there be feasting and frolicking, kindness and wonderment, and may there be wise people to follow a star in the east, and a child to teach us to love, and enough magic to let the imagination go wild and to let Christmas arrive with its enchantments, its glitter, glow, gold, to let what wants to be born break through. May the presence of the holy crowd out fear, hate, and worry, and proclaim in this moment that peace and goodwill might yet be breathed into the world, and a vow that we too can give birth to love wherever we go, whoever we are.
Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echoing their joyous strains.
Angels we have heard on high, singing sweetly through the night, and the mountains in reply, echoing their brave delight. Oh, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Excelsis Deo.
Oh, shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? What the gladsome tidings be, which inspire your heavenly song? Gloria in excelsis Deo. In excelsis Deo.
Come to Bethlehem and see him whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee, Christ the Lord, the newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria.
Okay, Prairie friends, it's time for our meditation. So everyone gather your breathing buddies. Littles, go grab them if you don't have them. I have Teddy with me again this week. Okay, we're going to start with just a moment of breathing. I invite you to face a source of inspiration. Roll your shoulders back, open up your chest, lean your neck left and right, and take a deep breath in and out. Let's sit in stillness together for a moment. What do you hear around you? Can you hear things farther away? Now try to hear things inside of you. Can you hear your heartbeat? Can you hear your stomach gurgling? Now let's listen for ideas that are whispered to us. We can pretend that angels are whispering ideas to us. Listen. What are they saying? Angels, what are you trying to say to us? Are you saying, have a good Christmas? Are you saying, remember who you love? Are you saying, follow a star? Imagine what the angels might say to you. Let's imagine together and share some stillness for a moment. In many traditions, it is believed when you speak out loud those you love, that you send goodwill into the world. I invite you in a moment to name those you are thinking of today who might need to feel comfort of the season. You can type them into the chat section also if you'd like, and speak them aloud.
Our beloved community is not built on a creed, but on a covenant to live together in relationship. Our chalice is a symbol that we are connected with our larger Unitarian Universalist community. We light this flame as a symbol of our covenant to each other and the world around us as we recite our sacred promise. Blessed be. We covenant to be a loving and welcoming community, offering each other fellowship, sanctuary, and a joyful spirit. We seek justice and peace in all our deeds and relationships, and we respect and honor both the individual and collective search for sacred meaning and truth. We revere and celebrate the diversity of our earth and are guided by the spirit that connects all life as we reach out to offer our best to ourselves, our community, and our world. May the goodwill that we have just offered be held in our hearts as a sign that we have come to a place to connect in a way that shares the words from our mouths, the music from our hearts, and our very silent self as we share these next few moments of silence.
Good Christian men rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Give heed to what we say. Jesus Christ is born today. Ox and ass before him bow, and he is in a manger now. Christ is born today. Christ is born today. The Christian men rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Now ye hear of endless bliss. Jesus Christ was born for this. He hath opened heaven's door, and man is blessed forevermore. Christ was born for this. Christ was born for this. Christian men rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Now ye need not fear the grave. Jesus Christ was born to save. Calls you one and calls you all to gain his everlasting hope. Christ was born to save. Christ was born to save. Christian men rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Give ye heed to what we say. Jesus Christ is born today. Ox and ass before him bow, and he is in a manger now. Christ is born today. Christ is born today. Christian men rejoice with heart and soul and voice. Now ye hear of endless bliss. Jesus Christ was born for this. He hath opened heaven's door, and man is blessed forevermore. Christ was born for this. Christ was born for this. Christ was born for this. Christ was born for this.
Welcome, all of our first-time guests and visitors. Every day we offer ourselves as a liberal religious light on the prairie in the Denver Southeast metro area. We open our spiritual home and our hearts to all people who thirst for authenticity and a connection with the mystery of life. We hope you feel welcomed. We hope you feel a sense of inclusion today as we engage our online service format. We want to acknowledge you who are joining us for the very first time, whether you are here in Parker, Colorado, maybe Bridge House in Aurora, Miami Beach in Florida, or somewhere across the globe. We thank you for being here with us today. Please let us know you are here by clicking on the welcoming link in the chat or going to www.prairieuu.org/welcome and signing our guest registry so that we can keep you connected with Prairie UU in the weeks and months to come. You are welcome here. Today, since we are not in person, I am so sad to say that, I offer you this virtual hug. And I hope that you will take this rain check and take it to your hearts until we can get back in building and trade that rain check when we get back in building for a proper hug from me, because I can hardly wait. Welcome.
The Christmas story, the birth of baby Jesus in a manger at Bethlehem, is a story about beginnings, about birth, which brings with it ever-renewing possibility. It is meant as a story of hope and light for all humankind, and as a story about love, both God's love and how we should love our neighbor, as we learn from Christian and Jewish teachings. The celebration of the birth of Jesus and its messages are replayed in our culture every year, including in our church with this annual service and retelling of this Christmas story. In this time of gift giving, it's also important to remember that this story represents hope and the possibility of liberation for the poor. This church, our community, is committed to year-round justice and peace, and to helping and standing with those in need. We support Bridge House Ready to Work in Aurora, and Aurora Warms the Night. We work to care for our earth and animals, which includes the open space cleanup every month. We also help our members through our community fund at Prairie. These are just a few of the ways that members of this church stand with those in need and with those who are oppressed. All of these, along with your many individual gifts of charity, service, and care, are what Christmas is really all about. Jesus, whether he was God or man or both, was not a king or a ruler. He was poor, and his Jewish people were poor and were under the thumb of the Roman rulers at the time, more than 2,000 years ago. The hope he represented to them was not just heavenly or spiritual, but real. They needed liberation. The story is also larger-than-life myth with many universal themes that touch our hearts and minds, including the human mysteries of nurturing, motherliness, fatherliness, love, compassion, innocence, childhood, joy and hope, and light and darkness. The tableau of the manger scene is not in the Bible. The whole idea of the manger scene with its animals came from St. Francis, who lived in 13th century Italy. You know, he's the image we see in statues, stained glass, drawings. He has the birds on his arms. Well, the story is that he imagined Mary and Joseph in the stable, and he knew there also must have been animals around. So today, our culture recognizes the camel, the humble donkeys, the lovely cow, and the doves of peace at the birth of Jesus. It's also an image of our beloved community, all of us living with one another, and offers a hopeful vision for ultimate meeting. The wonder of stars and angels, which represent the divine, and which also point to the holy within, that small seed of light or spark of sacred, which shines within each of us, giving us each inherent worth, dignity, and goodness. Children immediately grasp the wonder of this story. A child can imagine the beauty of the star that guided the wise men, the gentleness of animals giving up their homes for the baby, and the glorious sight of angels singing in the sky, and the humbleness of the shepherds chosen to be messengers, and understanding that the Jesus' birth is a sign of hope for all people. The story of Christmas, with all its mystery and symbols, is also a gift itself. It is literally the gift of what it means to give, to bring hope, joy, promise, love, and peace into the world. Even to wonder if there is a loving, creative spirit that cares about and holds each one of us, as the story suggests. We begin our story with some of the most famous givers of all, the three wise men, or three kings, who brought the precious gifts to the newborn. They had to journey from far away to find the baby in Bethlehem, and it is said that they followed a star. The wise men, of course, were following the star because they believed in a prophecy that a king would be born in Bethlehem. And it is said that Angel Gabriel visited Mary also and told her she would be giving birth to a special child who would be called the Son of God and the Son of Man. The angel said to Mary, "Hail, O favored one, the Lord is with you." Mary was afraid, though, so the angel said, "Do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. And behold, you will have a son, and you shall call his name Jesus. Mary found that she was no longer afraid, and she sang a famous song to God, knowing that she would be remembered as God's servant for all time. Mary's song, known as the Magnificat, is sung even today, a song of freedom and liberation, even, for instance, especially in South America. It's an echo to the ancient Jewish song Hannah sang when she learned she would give birth to prophet Samuel. Mary sang, "My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God. For God, who has looked with favor on the lowliest servants, God has shown great strength. God has scattered the proud in thoughts of their hearts. God has brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. God has filled the hungry with good things, with wonderful foods, and sent the rich away empty." Well, Mary was engaged to Joseph, and Joseph also was visited by a vision that Mary would bear a son and the Savior of his people. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the Roman world would have to pay and sign up and pay more taxes. Every person was supposed to go to their home city and give their names to the tax collector. So Joseph, whose lineage was of the ancient Jewish King David, he took Mary to Bethlehem, which is the city of David, and they traveled with Mary sitting upon a donkey. When they got to Bethlehem, there were no rooms to be had. One innkeeper gave them his stable for the night. You know, this story of no room for a stranger and finding a place even in a stable has inspired many. Welcoming the stranger, providing sanctuary to the poor and dispossessed, learning to offer aid, compassion, and care, especially when we never know whom we may be helping or what gifts that stranger, especially a poor stranger, may bring. So in that long ago stable, it is said, there was a cow and doves, and there were sheep in the manger too, and a camel. While Mary and Joseph waited for the time for their child to be born, the cows and the doves and the donkey and the sheep, they looked on, and then the baby was born, and they were encouraging. They were mooing and cooing and braying and bahaing. Mary gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger of hay, for there was nowhere else for him. Now in that region there were shepherds out in the field watching over their flock at night. A host of angels of the Lord appeared to the shepherds, and the glory of the Lord shone all around them, and the shepherds were filled with fear. But an angel said to them, "Be not afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, which will come to all people. For to you born this day in the city of David is a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes lying in a manger." A host of angels appeared in the heavens, and they were singing, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men and women with whom God is well pleased." Then the shepherds, who were poor and filled with wonder that they should be visited by angels, said amongst themselves, "Let's go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us." They went in a hurry and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in the manger, just as foretold. And when they saw it, they told everyone about the angels and what the angels had said to them, and that everyone was filled with wonder. And lo, the star, which wise men had seen in the east, went before them until it rested over the place where the child was born. And when all saw the star, they were filled with great joy. The kings came to see the child with Mary, and they fell down on their knees and worshipped. And they laid their gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Across the wide sea of doubt, back when gods rode winged horses, we had chariot races with no road. just taxes to pay the armed forces. We had backstabbing rumors and beer, but no coolers. Oil still waiting to flow. An ocean of sand and 10 rock-hard commands. More trouble than you'll ever know. There were no pickups in NASCAR, no fiddles, bass, or guitar to help sing out what's got you hurt. Sitting under that big old bright star, how she told you she's pregnant and you ain't the father, and the kid's somehow gonna be king. It's a strange situation, fills you with frustration, and boy, riding that donkey sure stings. He wasn't a cowboy, he wasn't pure country, he wasn't raised on a farm. But whenever he left the door open, 'cause Jesus was born in a barn. We don't have enough money to buy enough insulation to stop that old breeze wherever it blows. Is it a storm or is it finally salvation? 'Cause it's a drafty old world, that's why candles all flicker. Everyone catches his death. It's a sound like a whisper, but it ain't no secret. What blew you in'll take your last breath. He wasn't a cowboy, he wasn't pure country, he wasn't raised on a farm. But whenever he left the door open, 'cause Jesus was born in a barn. When you feel that old wind blowing in from the desert, blowing in through the cracks in your soul, when you're wrapped up in sin, trying to ride out that blizzard, only faith could make your heart whole. He wasn't a cowboy, he wasn't pure country, he wasn't raised on a farm. But whenever he left the door open, 'cause Jesus was born in a barn. No, he wasn't a rancher or a country swing dancer, but boy, could he spin a good yarn. And the day that he left the door open, 'cause Jesus was born in a barn. Yeah, Jesus was born in a barn.
Good morning, Prairie UU. Part of being in this community is by sharing our resources, our time, talent, our treasures. Prairie UU is not an institution. It is a community of people who come together in love and support for each other. We need to be taken care of in a variety of ways. One of the teams that does this for us is our Lifespan team. Our Lifespan team coordinates a religious exploration program, and offers programs including the Learning Hour on Sunday mornings and other religious and spiritual experiences. The Lifespan team is available to each of you for your questions, comments, and kudos via Lifespan at prairieu.org. We also would like to thank you for giving to the Colorado Unitarian Universalist Black, Indigenous, and People of Color Fund. The fund is established to provide services and programming for our UU BIPOC community members and their families. If you are interested in participating or learning more about the fund or how you can get more involved in supporting our UU BIPOC community, please contact Pastor AJ. We also invite you to be a giver at Prairie UU. While we cannot pass the plate in person, we do need your continued support as we continue to build our beloved community. I would like to thank you for your offering to our community. We know it is generously given and gratefully received.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
We welcome you today and every day. We hope that if you hear the call to become a member of our community, that you join us and connect with us. We love our community and welcome you. This is a place of acceptance and commitment, a sacred and spiritual home that hopes to open itself up to you. You and yours are certainly welcome here. And if you're called to be a member, just want to find out more information about us and our community, please visit prairieu.org and let our membership committee know you're interested. Thank you.
As we prepare to leave this sacred space, in the spirit that they take us forward, reminding us that our service does not end here today and this morning, but it continues throughout the week. May we close this hour together with these words from Mark L. Bellatini. Go in peace, live simply, gently, at home in yourselves.
Act justly, speak justly.
Remember the depth of your own compassion. Forget not your power in the days of your powerlessness.
Do not desire to be wealthier than your peers, and stint not your hand of charity. Practice forbearance.
Speak the truth or speak not.
Take care of yourselves as bodies, for you are a good gift.
Crave peace for all people in the world, beginning with yourselves, and go as you go, with the dream of that peace alive in your heart.
Amen, Amin, Shalom, Salam, Namaste, and blessed be.
Hi! So I have a fun story about something that happened during Christmas. It was when I was in preschool and my mom and I got home from school and we had just decorated for Christmas, so all the figurines were out, and I picked up this baby Jesus little figurine, and I was playing with it. And then I grab a cake decorator tip from the kitchen, and I put it on my finger to use as a bottle to feed baby Jesus. And when I try to take it off, it won't come off. So my mom and I tried everything, soap, oil, all the works, and it just was not coming off. The more she tried to pull it off, the more the tip of it would dig into my fingers, and my fingers started turning blue. So she called the doctor, and they said the easiest thing to do would be to take me to the fire department, because we lived so far away from everything. We lived in Elizabeth. So we go to the Elizabeth Fire Department, and they saw it off, and they were really nice to me, and they gave me a bear, a little stuffed animal bear that I still have because it was Christmas time, so they had a bunch of toys to give kids, so they gave me one. So yeah, that's my story.
Come on, bud. Come on. Okay, we're good. Oh, you want to grab him? You can grab him, maybe. Oh, well, let's see if he comes over. Okay, well, so what do you remember about the Christmas pageants?
I remember you announcing like one by one the roles, and everyone just waiting to see who would come up to do them.
They would always surprise us, huh?
Yeah.
Different people would, like, grown-ups would be in little roles, little people would be in big roles. Yeah. One of the things I remember, and I was going to point out to everybody the star, is that the star has been with us for over 20 years in this Christmas pageant. I think it was originally created by Catherine Schwab, Jan's daughter. I think she's the one that originally made it, and we have just re-glued it and made it work every single year. And there were a couple years I remember that Evan Duke, he had to be the star. I don't know, you were probably still little when that happened, but he had to be the star every time. And those are kind of some of the fun stuff that I remember. Bye.
Bye.
Good morning, Prairie UU. Good morning, world. We are Prairie Universalist Unitarian. Did what Cindy did. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. Blah, 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 blah. A host of angels appeared in the heavens, and they were singing, "Glory to be God."
One of my favorite Christmas pageant memories was the last Christmas that our good friend Norm McQueen was with us. So Norm was an elder member of Prairie for a very long time, since I had been at Prairie, and I happened to be sitting next to him during the pageant. When Susan Ermish was up trying to get members from the congregation to come up and play various parts, she called for shepherds abiding in the fields. And so I was sitting next to Norm, and I said, "What do you think? She needs some shepherds. Should we go up there and be some shepherds?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So we went up there, and Molly Martin came with us too, and the three of us were the shepherds in the field, abiding the sheep in the field. And it was really funny, and Norm was really touched and funny to be a part of that. And it was a memory that I will always cherish from Prairie.
As we share these next few moments of silence. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world.